This meditation was recorded in front of a live meditation group facilitated by David Ellis.
Hello, my name is David Ellis, and Paddy has invited me to talk with you tonight about using the protection of crystals during your work. And then we will carry out a ritual of cleansing and programming to help you in that process. And during our talk and discussion, if anybody has any questions, just feel free to ask. So, what are crystals? Well, the word crystal comes from the ancient Greek word krostalos. Krostalos meaning frozen ice. The ancient Greeks believed that clear quartz crystal was frozen water, frozen many millennia ago and couldn't be defrosted. They believed that this frozen water had magical properties for healing and scrying. I personally go along with their beliefs. The scientific meaning of crystals is a solid material whose structure of atoms and molecules are arranged in an orderly repeating pattern extending in all three dimensions. To see the inner workings of a crystal under a microscope and its absolute perfection is just quite astounding. Scientists have also discovered that crystals have been around for more than 4 billion years. 4 billion years is a long, long time. The shamans refer to clear quartz crystal as the memory of Earth. So, clear quartz crystal, in its essence, is some kind of memory stone, some kind of stone or crystal that is used for storing memory or holding information. I personally feel that crystals are living, breathing entities, transmitting, interacting and pulsating energy and beauty. They can bring healing, balance and attune the mind, body and spirit. They are pure solarized sunlight, which has taken millennia to form within the all-powerful, all-nurturing Mother Earth. Okay, so how does the magic of crystals work, and how can they protect us? Well, according to scientist Marcel Vogel, crystals are neutral objects whose inner structure exhibits a state of perfection and balance. And as I said, this is true when you see a crystal under a magnifying glass. But this state of perfection and balance is exactly what you guys are trying to bring when your clients come to you. We're trying to arrive at a state of perfection and balance. Balance the aura, balance the chakras, become perfect in the light. Crystals are like a laser. The crystal radiates positive energy in a coherent, highly concentrated form. This energy may be transmitted into objects and people at will. By the same token, the crystal can draw harmful and negative energy from objects and people. So the crystal radiates positive energy into and draws harmful negative energy out of when they're programmed. Crystals can also form as blocks or protection shields against negative energy, electromagnetics and psychic attack. So we can set up a grid of protection by using the crystals, which is what we're going to do this evening. As always with working with crystals, there is a trinity of energy, or 3 components. And the 3 components are spirit or source, human or self, and the crystal. So how does the trinity work? Well, we call upon spirit to draw the connection between self and spirit, and self and the crystal and source. And through the trinity, the elemental within the crystal awakens and perpetuates a triangle, if you like. So I'm connected to spirit, spirit's connected to the crystal's connected to me, I'm connected to the crystal's connected to spirit, and spirit's connected to me, and around we go. And of course that amplifies as it progresses. So, of course, before we start, If we didn't have any crystals, then we have to go and select crystals. So we want to go and buy some. So we go to a store, or we may find the crystal, or it may be given to us as a gift, or we may steal it, God forbid. But nevertheless, in the selection process, what happens? In the selection process, if we have in our mind the purpose of this crystal is for protection, what normally happens is that we enter into a store that sells crystals. The crystal resonates with the energy that's vibrating within us. A link is formed between that crystal and us, and we end up buying that crystal. Now, we may have gone in to buy something else. In our mind's eye, we may have said, I'm going in to buy a crystal for protection, I'm going to buy tourmaline, and you end up leaving the shop with amethyst. Or you may end up leaving the shop with both, but the point is that the crystal is the one that selects us. We don't select the crystal. Our ego will tell us that actually, well, we select the crystal, but we don't. The crystal will vibrate at a resonance or a frequency that is going to draw us to them. We may find a crystal, and the same thing applies. Or we may be given a crystal, and again the same principle applies. We may go into the shop with no intention at all. We have no clue what we want. In fact, we didn't go out to buy crystals at all. And as we go out on our journey and we find a shop and we go, oh my God, there's a lovely shop. We'll go in here and we'll have a look. And we see a crystal that just jumps off the shelf at us, and then we must buy it. And we go, oh, I selected this crystal. You didn't select it. The crystal was working at a different level for quite some time, and eventually it drew you in, and it wanted to work with you, or recognized within you the need for the energy of that crystal to work together. Okay, so we have our crystals now, however we came across them, and we need to cleanse them. But in the cleansing process, it's easy to say we must cleanse our crystals, or we must clean our crystals, or we must wash our crystals, but actually there's a whole process that really needs to happen. And it's a ritual that happens, because what we give, we will get. The care and love that we give to the crystal will be returned to us 100-fold. So we start off and we recognize that we must have a ritual for cleansing. Okay? So why do we cleanse crystals? Well, there are two types of cleansing. One is hygiene and one is vibrational. Hygiene, we will hygiene ourselves out of existence. By the time we're finished, we will wash ourselves out of complete existence. However, hygiene has a place within balance. And in this particular case, where we buy a crystal from brand new, or we use a crystal with massage or body contact, we need to wash it, and we need to clean it. Some crystals you cannot wash, and we can talk about that later. But the crystals that we're referring to today are basically amethyst and clear quartz. Both of those are washable, so we can wash these crystals. So we take a soap that you would wash a baby with, something that's soft, very good pH balance, something that's very gentle, and we wash our crystals in this soapy water, just as if we were washing the dishes at home, except for with a little more care and a little more loving and a little more feeling. Okay, we wash the dishes as a task that must be done. We must wash our crystals as something nurturing, caring, and loving. So we use a soap. There is a solution on the market called Wash Lotion. It's spelled W-A-S-C-H, Wash Lotion. And this is very good for the pH balance is very good, and it's very good for crystals. It doesn't damage them in any way. So this is why we wash our crystals, as in the fundamental basics of hygiene washing. Okay. Then we need to vibrationally clean the crystals. And so why do we do that? We clean the crystals or cleanse the crystals vibrationally because along their journey they have been imprinted with information. Because remember, they are information gatherers. They gather information, they gather energy. So even in a non-awakened state, they're still gathering information and they're still drawing in information and energy. So along their journey, for example, a crystal is in a mine. It's under the ground, and the miners are mining the crystal. Some miners will care about how they mine the crystal. There will be great care involved in the whole process of extracting the crystal from the earth. In some cases, it's not so. Explosives are used. The crystals become traumatized. They're taken out of the mine, then they're stored, and depending on how they're stored, then they're cut, and again, depending on the energy of the cutter, he may cut them with great care and loving. He might love what he does. He might love the crystal. He might love the creation of it. He might be a greedy bastard and just not be interested, and so he's cutting them because he knows he's going to get money at the end of it. The crystal along the way is drawing in this energy. It's imprinting the information as it's going along. The polisher, the same. He may love polishing crystals. He may not. Then they're transported. Then they're displayed in a shop. And again, the shopkeeper might just decide to throw them on the shelf, not care about them. Other shopkeepers will adore them, look at them and look at awe at their beautiful collection, as I do. I have a shop full of crystals. I hate selling them. I love them. They just are just so magnificent. So the energy that is attached to the crystals, for example, in our shop, is as a result of the adoration and love that they get. In some shops, they don't get that. So they're imprinting that negative energy. And then they're sold. So the methods of which then that are used in cleansing, we can use water, we can use a bed of hematite, we can use a druce of amethyst, we can use a bed of sea salt or Himalayan salt, we can use incense, we can use singing bowls or bells, we can use sunlight, we can use moonlight. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the best method and 10 being the least effective method, water is the best method and moonlight being the least effective method. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Moonlight is a very slow and gentle process. You may need to leave your crystal out for many evenings in order for it to release its energy. And in the releasing of its energy, it's very slow and very quick to fill. Slow to go, quick to fill. Water, it's a reasonable process. Might take about a half an hour. The crystal ends up being completely cleared, and then it's slow to fill. So when you're going in to do this ritual, wear something bright, remove your jewelry, get rid of the mobile phone, and if at all possible, end up in your bare feet, if it's possible. And whatever you do, don't do this if you're in bad mood or if you're in bad form. So if you've had a bad day or a hard day in your therapy rooms or in your day in general, then don't do this ritual, because the crystal will only imprint your feelings. So you need to have your vibration raised slightly, and you need to go into this process with great intent, great caring, great loving. Okay, so we set up our altar. So if we're operating in a therapy room, what I do in my therapy room, I take my bed, I lay down a beautiful white sheet or a white tablecloth, and on my bed then I lay out my crystals, I lay out all the components that I need to carry out the ritual. And in this case, we will have candles, we'll have incense, we'll have a bowl for water, or you may have running water. We will have some flowers, we'll have some music. We will have what's needed on the altar. We'll have our statue of our main deity that we want to work with. So we light our candle to begin the ritual. So we set it all up and then we light our candle to begin our ritual. Okay? But before you begin the ritual, so as you light the candle, you must protect yourself. Okay? So we invoke the great Archangel Michael by calling his name. We invoke the Archangel Michael and we call upon you to cleanse and clear and release my aura to all but my I am self in the Christ consciousness. And so it is. Thank you, God. Archangel Michael, please protect us in all that we do. Surround our auras with a blue flame of protection. Stand at the spiritual doorway with your blue sword and mind us and protect us along our journey. Thank you, Archangel Michael. So we protect ourselves with the power of Archangel Michael. And now we need to make a connection to our I am presence. I am David. I am David. I am my heart. I am my heart. I now invoke the light of God within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. I now invoke the light of God within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. I now invoke the light of God within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. So now we need to call upon the deities and guides and angels that we wish to work with. So we're going to do that now. So we call upon the great Buddha. We ask the great Buddha to shower our hearts with the essence of Buddha, with the essence of compassion. We call upon Jesus, the great teacher. And we ask Jesus to shower our hearts with knowledge and knowing. We call upon Kuan Yin, Mother of Mercy. Fill our hearts, Kuan Yin, with the essence of your mercy. Allow us to show mercy in all that we do. We call upon Mary, Queen of the universe. Fill our hearts with your love, Mary. Fill our hearts and surround us with that loving, caring, unconditional love of your essence. We call upon Mary Magdalene, Amoy, Edward and Eileen, Muhammad, Krishna, Shiva, Ashtar, Isis, Cerberus Bay, Saint Germain. We call upon the great mothers, Mother Mira, Mother Amma, Mother Teresa. We call upon Dr. Azui. We call upon El Or, and Albert, and Ben. We call upon Ariel and Mahala. We call upon the divas of the crystalline kingdom. We call upon the divas of the fairy kingdom. We call upon the angels and the armies of angels. call upon the archangels, Metatron, Gabriel, Raphael, Michael, and Uriel. And we call upon those guides and angels that wish to be present here now to work with us today. Allow your presence be felt if that is for our higher good. And so it is. So we spend time in the connection, in that space. We ask our guides for assistance. So we ask for help in cleansing and releasing the negative energy from these crystals and to empower them into the light. So we empower the water that we're going to use with Reiki energy. And if you have not been attuned to Reiki, then empower the water with the energy of love. To hold the water, or if the water is running out of a tap, place your hand on the tap. Empower it with the symbols of Reiki. Shakare, shakare, shakare. Heart, heart, heart. And if we're not attuned to Reiki, then empower the water with thoughts of loving and caring. Sense the water from source and feel a love vibration flow through you into the water. So now bring the crystals to the altar that require to be cleansed. So we're going to wash the crystals. And again, bear in mind that some crystals cannot be washed. So as we cleanse these crystals, we can feel they feel a bit soapy, and as they're cleansed and cleansed and cleansed, they become frictional. So we call upon our guides to help us cleanse the crystal. I cleanse and clear and release these crystals from all negative power, all negative energy, and all negativity. I cleanse and clear and release these crystals from all imprinted information, from all negative energy, from all negative power. I cleanse and clear and release these crystals now. So we take the crystal from the water, we hold it in the towel, and again we say, I cleanse and clear and release this crystal now from all negative power, all negative energy, and all negativity. And so it is. I call upon Saint Germain, keeper of the violet flame. Take this dark matter that is oozing from this crystal and take it back to the light from whence it came. Sweet Saint Germain. So as we do this process with each of the crystals, then we place the crystals on the altar in clusters, and we place these crystals with great reverence and care. Okay, so now that we have cleansed our crystals with water, there are other ways of cleansing crystals. One of these is by use of the hematite bed of hematite here. So we can place our crystals on the hematite bed, and we do exactly the same process. We call on our guides to work with us. Now that each of our crystals are now placed in the space on the altar for programming, now we need to wash our own hands with soapy water. We need to wash again, we're washing away any negative energy that has come our way. And as we wash our hands, we again call on our guides. I cleanse and clear and release the energy from my hands through the power of the One. I wash away all dark matter, I wash away all dark energy, I release and let go now. So now it's time to program our crystals. So again, we're going to program the clear quartz crystal for protection. Protection of self, protection of our client, and protection of the space that we work in. So we're going to concentrate on the energy surrounding protection. You can imagine in your mind's eye, you can imagine a fortress, and around that fortress you have clear quartz crystal pillars. Okay. So I call upon the Diva of the crystalline kingdom to empower these crystals with the energy and power of protection. I call upon the One to empower these crystals with the energy of protection and to keep me safe, and to keep my clients safe, and to keep our space safe during the work that I do. I reawaken the elemental within. I call forth the power of the One. I bring down the Christ-light energy and infuse this energy into the crystal, and so it is. Okay, so we move on to the amethyst crystal, and again we're going to empower the crystal of the amethyst with shielding and collection and holding. I call upon the Diva of the crystalline kingdom to empower these crystals with the power of the shield. Shield us from all dark matter, all dark energy, and all negativity. Empower these crystals to hold this dark matter and dark energy until it is transmuted by Saint Germain. I empower these crystals to reflect unto itself all dark matter and dark energy. I empower these crystals to hold as vessels this dark space. I reawaken the elemental within. I call forth the power of the One. I bring down the Christ-light energy and infuse this energy into the crystal, and so it is. Okay, so now we have empowered our crystals, we've cleansed them, and they're now ready to go. And now it is time for us to give thanks to our guides and to thank them for being with us today. We give grateful thanks to the guides and angels, ascended masters and deity and avatars that have been with us today during the process of our cleansing ritual. We give grateful thanks to the great Buddha, to Jesus, the Master, to Mary, to Kuan Yin, to Mary Magdalene, to Muhammad, Krishna, Shiva, to Moses, Isis, Ishtar, Cerberus Bay, and Saint Germain. We give grateful thanks to Amoy, Eileen, and Edward. We give thanks to Dr. Azuli. We give grateful thanks to the great mothers, Mother Mira, Mother Amma, Mother Teresa. We give grateful thanks to the divas of the crystalline kingdom. We give grateful thanks to the crystals themselves. We give grateful thanks to the angels that surround us every day. We give thanks to Ben, Albert, and Elor. We give thanks to Ariel and Mahela. We give grateful thanks to Archangel Michael, the great protector. We give grateful thanks to Gabrielle, the great communicator. We give grateful thanks to Metatron, the great recorder. We give grateful thanks to Raphael, the great healer. And we give grateful thanks to Archangel Uriel, the carrier of the light of God. We give thanks to Father Sky and to Mother Earth. We give thanks to the four elements. We give thanks to all that has gone before us, all that is with us presently, and all that shall come in the future. We give grateful thanks for who I am, who we have been, and who we shall be. And we give grateful thanks for all the gifts we have been given, the gifts that we have now, and the gifts we shall receive tomorrow. And so it is. Okay, so now our crystals are now ready. Our ritual is now complete. We now need to place the crystals in the space that we wish to work with. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 clear quartz crystals and we're going to put them into the 4 corners of the room. So you place them in the 4 corners of the room, preferably not on the floor, because, the floor is the floor. So if we can elevate them, if we can put them on a little shelf, on a little table, or whatever is in the corner. If it's not possible, it's not possible. But maybe if we're going to put it on the floor, we might put a little napkin on the floor. In other words, we're showing reverence. We're asking it to stand as a pillar of protection, and we're showing some reverence to what we're doing. So we place our crystals with reverence around the corners, and then directly inward from that we take our 4 amethyst points and we place those around the corners as well. And so what we're asking is, we're saying the clear quartz crystal is going to act as a protector of energy, both in and out. And the amethyst is going to act as a shield and as a collector of dark energy. So the amethyst is going to draw the energy in, or draw the information in, and it's going to hold it there until we transmute it with the help of Saint Germain. We then place a pyramid in the center of the room, or underneath, wherever your therapy bed is, or your therapy chair. In some cases you put the point underneath that, and what we're asking the pyramid is to deflect the negative energy from itself. So we're asking the amethyst crystals in the corner to reflect the energy onto itself. We're asking the pyramid to deflect it from itself. So it deflects the energy, it's collected, can't escape because of the boundary of the clear quartz crystal. A couple of things about the empowerment of your crystals. If we want to empower our crystals and we want a particular emphasis on something physical, for example, somebody has an ailment, we want to work with somebody with an ailment, we do our ritual as we've done. But in addition to that, we take our crystal and place it in the sunlight, not at 12 o'clock in the day, but at sunrise and at sunset. And we're empowering the crystal further with the energy of the physicality. And if we want to deal with emotions, we do our ritual as we've done. We take our crystal and we place it in the moonlight. Now, moonlight as in a clear night where the moon is visible. So we place it in the moonlight. At the end of the day, when you may be tired, you don't want to kind of have to deal with your crystals, you've had a busy day or whatever, you can use a druce of amethyst. Take your crystals and place them on the druce so they're vibrating within themselves and they're holding and empowering the energy that's already there. It has to be released, but it's holding it there. If you haven't had a particularly busy day and you don't need to go through the whole process of cleansing every day, you can use a piece of clear quartz, a cluster of clear quartz like this one, and you can place your crystals on and around this cluster, and it will hold the programming. So it will hold the essence of what it is that you're requiring it to do. The other thing that's very, very good is a spray essence made from gem essence. So I'm not sure whether you know how to make gem essence. I'll very quickly tell you. You got to do your ritual. You got to make sure hygienically that the crystal is clean. And then you move on and you take a pot and you boil the crystal in the water. So you put your a very good process for protection is amethyst, clear quartz crystal, and tourmaline. Pop them into a pot, boil them just until it comes to the boil. Let it boil for a couple of moments. Let it cool down. Take your crystals out after they're cool. Give thanks to the crystals for the work that they've done, and then bottle the water in a spray, and then spray the spray in the room. And you have the same essence. So you have the powerful essence of the amethyst, the tourmaline, and the clear quartz in the spray. You can spray it, you can carry it around with you. If you're going into a space that you're not sure about, you can bring the spray and spray it in front of you. There's no smell of it, so nobody's going to know. And if you want, you can actually put a fragrance into the spray by dropping in some herbs as you're in the boiling process, right? Or you can crush some mint and just put the juice of the mint in. It's just a hint of fragrance. That's also possible. So thank you very much for listening to me today. It's been very enjoyable to share this experience with you.
David Ellis has spent the past 20 years in the spiritual learning and growing process and holds regular meditation groups and teaches various self-development courses. David also works with clients through trauma, illness, depression, self-esteem, confidence, relationships, spiritual connection, and much more, using Reiki, hypnosis, NLP, and colour and crystal therapies. You can book a meditation course or a private session by contacting David through his website, www.davidellis.ie.